Hello gorgeous, welcome to the Divine Diva universe. Welcome to this space, welcome to this environment. My name is V. If you're new, welcome, thank you for being here. So in this video we are going to talk about how to become a powerful visionary, and I'm going to be sharing with you all. This is something that happened with me by accident. Genuinely by accident. Your girl didn't know what your girl was doing. Your girl just did it because it felt good. And I've come to realize that what I was actually doing is visualizing, manifesting. But I was doing a lot of the things at the same time. But I didn't know that that is what I was doing until 5 years later, when I lived that experience. I lived that manifestation, and then I learned about all of these new things about manifesting and all. Well, the information becomes like more available. Yeah, I realized like, oh my gosh, I have been doing this. What the hell? So I'm gonna share with y'all one of the craziest experiences that truly activated that for me. So when I was 17, I stopped working at the recruiting agent. I started working at the recruiting agent by the age of 15, and I first started as a waitress. And within those 2 years, I went from waitressing to assistant administrator, and later I became a recruiting agent. So at 17, the company shut down, and I needed to look for another job. That part-time job was so perfect for me because I was going to school in the morning, and I finished at 2, and afterwards I will work until 5. And the weekends they were just free. So when I turned 18, I needed to look for another job, but I was also going to school. So it was a whole process for me. Now, I'm not gonna be talking about all of the struggles and all of the things that I went through, because I knew that the thing is, let me share this part because this is also an important part. I was receiving jobs to work as waitresses, but I did not want to work as waitress. I wanted something better, and I knew that I can have something better, because it didn't make sense to me that I started as a waitress, went through sales administrator, recruiting agent, and then I'm going back to waitressing. It just didn't make sense for me. So I just remember deciding that I would not accept any waitressing job, period. Girl, tell me why all of the waitressing jobs starts flooding in, and all of the people around me at that time was telling me like, yeah, the job is great, it's better for you because you have you have the salary, and then you have tip. I even received job to work directly with the hotel, which is super beneficial because they have a lot of benefits, especially if you're on Caribbean. I was like, no, I know I'm not supposed to be doing that. I know I am not going back to that, because in my experience it was like I already upgraded that, I already up-leveled it, I already went through it, so it didn't make sense for me to go back to it again. Yeah, I started looking for jobs. I was like doing all of this effort, applying all these places and all these things, and it was so perfect how everything happened, because at that time I also was in a relationship. Your girl finally decided to be in a relationship, and honestly it was just a very beneficial relationship for me, because I didn't have income, so my only income was him taking care of me. So that was like my income. So the whole time I was just being taken care of eventually, but I didn't have any job. And this person tells me one day, we passed by this store, and this is this huge store they're building on the island, Zara. And this is huge for the Caribbean, because firstly that store is super big, secondly people from other islands travel to that island to shop in this store, because you know it's Zara, girl. Who doesn't shop at Zara? So 2 weeks before the store opened, this person was like, why don't you just apply here? And the whole time, because the store was being made in like 6 to 9 months, I think it took, and the whole time I didn't care to apply because I thought, like, you know, so many people are already applying, they probably have all the stuff already, so I'm not even gonna try, you know. 2 weeks before that, he says to me, why don't you try, apply here? And I'm like, you know what, I already applied all of these places. I already applied in the whole main street, because if you know the main street, then you know there's only one. So I already applied to all the stores there. And yeah, literally 3 days before the official opening, I get called for an interview. I go to the interview. I don't even get interviewed. This was the craziest thing for me, because you know, I was already applying all these places, so I was already used to like being interviewed, and they explaining me how the phases go, whatever, and all of these things. So I came with this expectation that the interview will be like any other interview. We were like 6-10 people sitting in a room waiting. I was like, this is the place for an interview. Yeah, everyone here is for the interview. And I thought, okay, they're calling us by name, and we go inside and we get interviewed. Whatever. This lady comes out and you know, she's like, she comes with a list, and she's like welcomes us, talks about the company, like does this whole introduction of like Zara and all of these things. Like, it was the craziest thing for me. And I was like, okay. And then she goes to say, I'm going to mention in the following name, and the following names are the names of the person that are going to move into the next room, and the ones that the name hasn't been mentioned, you sit here. And she mentions all of the names, and then by the like 3 before the last one, she calls my name, and I wait, stand up, go to the other room, right? Well, not yet, but until she finished her conversation, her discord, her speech, that's the word. And she goes in to say, like, all of the people that I mentioned that are going to be going in the other room, congratulations, you just got hired. And all of the people that didn't, like, all of the people that didn't get mentioned, thank you so much for applying. We look forward to work with you in the future. We'll be sending you email for future interview. And I was like, what the just happened? They didn't even interview me, and I got the job. I was like, oh my god, this is for me. Then when we went to the other room, they called the one by one again, and we were sitting in front of 3 people, and they asked me like 3 questions, a few questions, like 3, and then they were explaining me all of these things of the company. Like, they started a conversation explaining all of the things of the company, and then they asked me these 3 questions. I reply, and that is how I got hired. So first off, that was the whole experience was crazy for me. That's why I had to share them, because they didn't even ask me anything, like how, you know, the whole process usually goes. It was like I was already chosen. And I remember, like, a few years like later with the company, I asked the manager, the HR, because she was and she was like, oh, we know just by your attitude, the way that you walked in, because we were sitting in the room, they could see everyone that's coming in. But when you're inside, when you're outside, it's just a blank wall. So it's a not wall, mirror, you know, it's just like closed, but they could see everything. And they were like, we knew that you were supposed to work with us just by the energy that you walked in. And I never forget that, because this goes back into this video of like, you gotta, I share all of that because I've shared in my previous videos about owning your energy, owning your power, owning setting the intention. I talk about this in the Angel Masterclass course. Owning your energy and walking in that room or any place, any environment, any party, in webinar, seminar, interview, whatever it is you need to do, doesn't matter. Anytime you need to go out and present and do it in that energy. Walk in it, in that energy. Like I walked in that place knowing that that job is for me, and every job I interview, I entered, I walk with that energy. But in that one, it happened because that was the one for me. And then fast forward, your girls becomes a visual merchandise. So within a year with the company, I become a visual merchandise. And it was so crazy for me because we were 2 visual merchandise, and one of the girls just finished studying abroad, so she was automatically chosen. And then I was offered that position within 6 months in the company. So I started working as a visual merchandise, and it was a working process for me because I was learning to be a visual merchandise. Like, your girl didn't know anything about visual merchandise. I just know being excited and just feeling like, oh my god, this store is like my closet. All these people come here and they shop and they make me richer, and I have all this money, and this is my company. That is the view. That is the view that I had the whole time that I was a VM, because I was also being trained by multiple peoples. You know, I was being trained by like 6 different people, by my manager, the regional VM, the product manager, like all of these people teaching me, telling me, showing me, because they was giving me all this information, because they was like, you later have to teach the employees, so we're gonna work only with you and teach you all of these things, and then you're gonna teach them to all of the employees, to the rest of the employees, because they were only here for like maybe 2 to 3 weeks to do this. And I was like, oh. So the only way I could have gone through it was by feeling like, oh my god, this is my store. I'm learning to build my closet. Like, this is my company. You know, your girl was fully in it. I did that so much while I was doing something that I enjoyed, while I was doing something that I love, because I was in the present, observing, learning, and every time that I had the time mentally, I will be in the outer world, in the other world, creating this whole world, so I can function here, because it was a lot of stress, it was a lot of pressure, it was a lot of information, and I was like, oh, like, you know, it was too much. So by doing that, by also what I did was every day, by the end of the, like, sometimes, girl, I will be crying by the end of the day because I will be stressed as fuck. I will be crying like, I will feel overwhelmed, I will feel stressed, but I will also feel very grateful. And how did I do this is I will write. I would use the specific time, especially when I would make sure I would go to school earlier, have at least an hour for myself where I could write, and I would just express any emotion that I was feeling, like whatever that was coming up, I was expressing it. And then I would go into feeling grateful, and then I would go into feeling like, you know what, this is an experience for me, this is an opportunity for me, this is something great is gonna come out of this for me. Like, I'm going to be doing all of this, I'm going to be travel, I'm going to become a product manager, I'm going to have like multiple stores in the region and being responsible for them. I'm gonna get paid like 20-30k. Like, girl, I was going all in. And every day I would do that, or every other day, for almost 2 years. A lot of the times I will forget. I forgot that the truth is, not even in that moment, years later, I forgot that I did all of that. I forgot that I was doing all of the writing, that I forgot all of that, because I was also trying to be as in the present with the current experience. 5 years later, I look into my journal and I'm like, oh my god, I manifested the whole thing, from sales to visual merchandise to sub-commercial director to traveling with the company. all of that, to the trainings, all of that, I was creating it, and I didn't even know I was creating it. And how? By zoning out in my fantasy, imagining the store it's like is my closet and this is my business and I make millions of money. By writing at the end of the day, or especially at the end of the workday, or whenever I felt frustrated or over it, or I was tired, like, you know, I have those days. Or yeah, I was doing that, and just being as much as present in the moment, like taking it all in as if, oh my god, something amazing is gonna happen for me because of this experience, because of all of these things that I'm learning. I didn't even know what for what but you know, that's just how I'm gonna feel about it. And this is something that I taught deeply in the angel frequency course, which you should get right now if you want to know more depth and have have the whole process, because this is a whole concept that was given to me when I was 14 years old, talking with God. And this is the thing that I have been doing over the years. Maybe not as at the time, it wasn't as frequently as now, because when I moved to Europe and I was like in it, because that was one of the ultimate goals that I had at that time, I went deep into writing. I started reviewing my journal, and this is how this video came up. So I just wanted to share all of this with you, because I became a powerful visionary by doing all of these things, by writing it, by imagining it. And sometimes I didn't even hold the imagination for that long, but I would just be, every time I would just tap in, tap out, like, because it's like you have to train yourself, you have to do it often. And I did it for years. Throughout those whole years I did it. So this is the video that I wanted to share with y'all, the steps that you can do to become a powerful visionary. And if you want to know more detail or want to go more deep into it, make sure you get the angel frequency course, which is now available on the Diva Academy. And make sure you check out the Diva Energy Masterclass, which is hopping up in August, if this is something for you. If not, it's okay, because you know, the Diva Energy is only for the ones that already have that essence, and you all have it, but it is not activated in all of us yet. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.